Hello? Can somebody tell me if you can hear me, please? I'm having so many issues tonight, but it looks like my little microphone is working. Okay. Hopefully this will work, guys. I have had not much luck so far tonight. But we are going to do an offset with Cricut. So I do have my comments open on my phone. I did try originally. I'm not quite sure how my streaming program is going to handle a screen share, because I've not actually ever done one with my program before. I usually only use the cameras. I tried to do it through the Facebook screen share that you can do when you go live, and it kept giving me an error message telling me that my authorization code had expired. So I was messing around trying to uninstall and reinstall the extension and everything, and I still can't get anywhere. So I'm hoping that once I have all of the programs running, that my I use Streamlabs down the bottom here, which was that weird screen that you saw at the beginning as I was trying to figure out if my microphone was working. So we're going to try. So tonight we're going to do 2 ways to offset if you are a Cricut user. Now, me personally, I'm a Silhouette user and always have been. Silhouette fortunately has offsets built into the design software. But before I started doing lives for Aussie Tumblers, I was in another American group. They were predominantly Cricut users as well. So over time I have learned how to interchange between the 2 programs, because I did have to do quite a few tutorials for them with the software as well. So I do have a little bit of knowledge when it comes to Design Space. The biggest thing that people seem to have trouble with as a Cricut user though is getting the really nice offsets. Now what an offset is if you've seen it, people put the text on a cup or on a bag or whatever, the name goes on and then it has a different colored border around it. That is an offset. Design Space, Cricut Design Space does not have that built into the program, but there are 2 ways to get around it to do it yourself. Now the first method is using Inkscape, which we're going to go through first because it is a little bit of a roundabout way. Having said that, learning how to do offsets in Inkscape is the first sort of beginner's step into using that program, and Inkscape is a world of possibility. Once you get a handle on all of the controls, you really can design down to like creating your own font styles, right? So Inkscape is a really fun program to use if you are looking at getting more into the digital design part of crafting, where you sell like your digital files on Etsy. The second way that I'm going to show you tonight is just using the Silhouette software and then showing you how you can upload that from the free version of Silhouette into your Cricut Design Space. At the end of this live, I'm just going to, it's inkscape.org is the website you want to go to download Inkscape. At the end of this tutorial, I will upload a PDF file that has the step-by-step instructions for Inkscape, because it is a little bit of clicking around, just so you can print that out and have a hard copy for you to reference while you're learning how to do it. But once you go to inkscape.org, which is up the top here, to get the latest version, you go download current version, and it will bring up the 4 platforms or the 4 files that you're able to download it in. Now I am using a Windows laptop, so I have already downloaded the Windows and installed it a long time ago. But this is where you go to download Inkscape. Once it is installed, close that down, you'll have, here's Inkscape. When you open it up, also, can anybody shout at me if I do start to lag as well? Just put lag up in the comments in capital letters so it catches my attention, just so I know if I'm starting to phase out a little bit. But this is the Inkscape screen that you will see when you open it up. Okay, so I am just going to zoom in a little bit so that we can see a bit better. But here are the step-by-step instructions to do an offset in Inkscape. Right, so the first thing you need to do is click your little text across here, click onto here and type a name. Now it was Julie that requested this tutorial, so we're going to use her name in it tonight. We are going to select that and change it to, your fonts are up the top here. If you click this drop down arrow, it has all of my fonts. We're going to use one of my favorites tonight, which is Cactus, and that changes that. This little diamond here, if I, no, not that one, hang on, wait, go back a step. Okay. Can you guys let me know where we're up to, like how much you heard? Otherwise, I'm just going to delete that and we're going to start again, right? I'm so sorry. I'm used to talking in front of a camera. I haven't done a screen share for a very long time. And the way that I wanted to do it tonight through Facebook wouldn't let me do it. So we're learning together. Okay, so in Inkscape, you want to go text. I'm going to type Julie again because Julie was who requested this in the first place. Once you've got your text, here's your font menu. Right, we're going to go Cactus. And then this little diamond here. No, I'm going to click the arrow up here first. And then I'm going to change it. Okay, so when you change the font for Julie, okay, so we're up to where it cut out. All of this that I'm about to show you now is going to be on the PDF that I upload at the end of the live. So if I do move a little bit fast for you, please don't panic. You will have a text version of the step-by-step instructions that you can print out and follow through. This live is simply for this part as a visual reference, right? So you can see what I'm doing. Once you have your font, the size, or you know, the shape really that you want, because you can always resize it in Design Space, right? From here, you want to, right, you can't actually see in Inkscape, but I know because I use Silhouette, these letters aren't actually joined, right? Each of these letters have individual cut lines. I don't want my Cricut or my Silhouette to cut each letter individually. I want it as a welded image. So this next step is how we weld the font. You want to go to Path up the top here, and then go Object to Path, and then go to Object, which is the next menu over, and you want to ungroup. It's been a minute since I did this, so bear with me. Okay, then you go to Path and you click Union. That has now welded the letters together, right? So that when we upload or import this SVG, because it saves as an SVG, into Design Space, it's all welded and ready to cut. Okay. From here, we're going to make our offset, and it is as simple as clicking Object. Is it Object? No, it's Path. Sorry, Path, Linked Offset. Okay. Now you can see that we've lost our arrows around the text, and if I scroll over Julie, see that red line that pops up? That's our offset that's hiding, right? Our little diamond here is what's going to move it. So we're going to change it to a nice purple again. Now, as it stands, I'll click this on. When you first open Inkscape, this little button up in the top right hand corner is going to be switched on. That's your snapping tool. So if I click this little diamond and bring it out even just a little bit, it snaps it to the first size. See that? There's no in between. All right. If that works for you and that's the look that you're going for, then you're done. Right? If you would like more control over the size of your offset, you want to unclick this snapping tool. That then gives you the ability, right, to move it to whatever size you like without it snapping back. Now I like, for my text or my names, I only like the slightest offset, so I'm going to leave it at that. And that is that's pretty much our offset. So we're going to go clicking here, right? Yeah, I know, I had my nothing's worked for me tonight in trying to set up this screen share. And my hotkeys, I forgot to turn off my hotkeys, so every time I was hitting a button it was muting and unmuting my microphone. So we fixed that, that's okay. Okay, so once you've got your offset done, you want to go File, Save As. Yep, okay. We're just going to call it Julie, and you can see here it saves it as an Inkscape SVG. Okay, so if we save that, that's now saved. And again, if I've lost you, please don't panic. This will be saved as a replay. You can play it as many times over as you like. Otherwise, I have made, this afternoon I made a PDF. I wrote out all of the steps, step by step. You can print that out and stick that on your desk or have it on your computer or somewhere where you can see it, so that you can use it as a reference guide and do it that way as well. So now we're in Design Space, and bear with me because I am a Silhouette user, so I don't ever use this program unless I'm doing a tutorial. We're going to go New Project. It's going to bring us to our little screen. We want to upload image. You can see where I was practicing this afternoon with that MLA. Browse, and we're going to find Julie. Right, we're going to save it. We're going to click Julie, and we're going to insert. Now, because this is an SVG, right, there she is, we can right click and ungroup, and there we have our two separate parts. Okay, so obviously before you ungrouped it, you would change it to whatever size you needed it to be while it was still together. And then after it was together, hi Leonie, yes, you can do this on a scan and cut. I am not sure if the method using Silhouette Studio, because we are screen grabbing it as a PNG, I'm not sure if that method will work. But I do know for certain that doing it the way that we've just done it with Inkscape, and saving it as that Inkscape SVG, that will definitely work with Brother Print and Cut, because their software supports SVG files, and because it's an SVG file, it is in these two separate parts that you can ungroup automatically. The way that we do it in Silhouette Studio, because Silhouette Studio, you do have to upgrade the program to the business edition to be able to export as an SVG. Now, if you're not a Silhouette user, or you're not going to be using the program all the time, it is a complete waste of money to upgrade to the business edition just to be able to do offsets. You can do offsets using the free version. It is a little bit of a sneaky way of doing it, but it does work. But I'm not sure if you can trace PNGs in Brother Print and Cut. So if you can, then the next bit will work for you as well. Otherwise, you just need to focus on this first bit that we've done in Inkscape, and that's what the PDF will be for. Kim, when I finish this live, I will upload the PDF into the group, and then I will post the link into the comments of this live. So just keep an eye out for the upload. Oh, thanks, Elizabeth. I'm a very, I like to work smarter, not harder. So if there's a way that I can cut down all of the riffraff to just a direct line to get to what I want, then I'll figure it out. But anyway, there's how you do your offset in Inkscape. If you are a little bit overwhelmed by what I just showed you with the clicking around and the converting to paths and everything like that, this is what this next bit using Silhouette Studio is for. But I just wanted to show you that it does indeed work when you do Inkscape. So I'm going to shut that down, quit. What do we need next? We need Silhouette. The Silhouette Studio, I do use Designer Edition. I am a Silhouette user, so I use this program for everything. But I didn't see like what I needed my program to do. I could get away with it with Designer Edition, so I don't even have Business Edition. But we're just going to change this to being a little bit bigger. Turn that grey line off. Okay, so when you load into Silhouette Studio, it pops up the same way as Design Space does, except instead of going through the click menu, you open automatically into a new unsaved project. Now, mine says Designer Edition at the top here. Yours will say the free edition, but it's still, everything that we're doing today, you can still do with the free version. So once you are in your project, you want to click on the left hand side here is your text. And we're going to type Julie for a second time, right? Once she's typed, we're going to click her. Over on this side is your text menu, and as you can see, I use it all the time. There's our cactus. Now, what I was trying to explain in Inkscape, but you couldn't see because it was black, as you can see, right, the letters overlap. Now, if I was to leave it like this, when you put it through your Cricut machine, it would cut every single red line there, and you'd end up with a bit of a mess. So we don't want that. What we want, once we have our name in the font that we want, we click, right click and weld. That welds it all together, and then right click again and group. Okay, so at this point you would make it whatever size you wanted to make it. We are going to put her name in purple this time. Obviously, if you're cutting vinyl, it doesn't matter what color is on the screen, it only matters what color vinyl you are using. But for demonstration purposes, we're going to go purple and black. So the black text on purple is the Inkscape way of doing things, and the purple on black is the Silhouette way of doing things, and that's how we're going to color code it. From here, because it's welded, you can either come over here to this little star, which is the offset menu, or, right, so if I click that, I can offset it, right, and pick whatever I want in the thickness. The other way of getting to exactly the same point, in a roundabout way, I'm a bit of a click and go person. Instead of using menus, I use hotkeys, so this is the easier way for me. Once I've grouped it, I go make compound path, right click again, offset, and it brings up the same menu, right? I prefer to keep mine at 0.075, apply, and now we're going to turn that to black. Now, these are, because the J is separate from the rest and the I is separate from the rest, this is in 3 parts again, so we want to group them together. Okay. And once I have them back in line, I would group and resize. The resize menu is this 3 columns here, and then this arrow here, scale, right? So if I wanted to make it, say, 3.5 inches by 1.5 inches, make it a little bit squishy. Okay. This next part is how you get it into Design Space without having to export it as an SVG. Mac users, I am very sorry, I don't know what your equivalent is to the snipping tool, but I do know you have one because my dad uses it all the time. So whatever your screen grab tool on your Mac is, that's what you use for this. I'm on a Windows computer. I need my, hang on, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I need my 2 pieces in 2 separate parts. Okay, so that's my offset and that's my text. I'm going to hit my Windows button, which brings up my Windows menu, and type in snip. There's your snipping tool. Right, it brings up this screen here. You want to go new. You want to draw a box around your whole project. And then we're going to go File, Save As. I'm just going to call it Capture. Right, save into the desktop. Yes. Okay, and then that is done, and the capture is here. So, same way again. We're going to open up Design Space once we've got our two parts of our offset. See, when you do it in Inkscape, because it's saved as an SVG, you can ungroup it and move those two parts around like we were doing earlier. Doing it in the free version of Silhouette, the only way that you can save your projects is as a Silhouette file, which obviously won't work in Cricut Design Space. Doing the snipping tool and what is essentially a cropped screen grab of whatever part of the screen that you're trying to save, that saves as a PNG file, which does support in Cricut. Okay, so we'll open up our new project. We're going to go upload image, browse. Here's our capture of Julie, right? And we want it as simple. Continue. Right, in your select and erase screen, we want to click this little magic wand and we want to click out all of the background, right, which in this case is all of the white, that little bit in there as well, that little bit in there, and in there. My eyes are not that good. Okay, so you want to make sure basically that you don't have any background left, right? It's got to be all transparent. So make sure that you do go and double check all of your little loops and connections, right? And once you have it on transparent background, you click continue. You want it as a cut image, not this, right? And save. And then we just insert it into our project. This will give you this. Okay. So just make sure that before you what's the word that I'm looking for? Before you do your snipping tool, that you have it the size that you want, because once you get into here, you're not going to be able to ungroup, right? Once you've got it in there though, if you go to your cutting screen, nope, it should have cut lines. It does have cut lines. Anyway, I don't actually know what to do from here to get it through your cutting machine. Maybe make them red. Oh, okay. So you don't have outlines, you just have solids. Alright, anyway, there's what it's going to cut. Ta-da! Does anybody have any questions? It is a little bit long-winded, but like some of the designs that you can make with a really good offset are limitless. You go from losing your text, like if you have a really busy background, sometimes just putting a solid colored offset, even if it's just a tiny little like 1/4 of an inch one, that can really separate the text from the background so that the text stands out a little bit more. So learning how to do an offset, in my opinion, is one of the base skills that can really drive your craft to the next level in regards to professionalism and appearance. I'm just going through the comments now. So you would cut on 2 different vinyl and then lay the font over the offset and apply to tumbler. That's exactly right, Sonia. So once it's cut and you've got it on, say this is black, this is purple, okay, you would put your transfer tape on your name, lift that off the backing paper, and then line it up onto your offset. Make sure it is brandished down really, really well, and then from there you would apply the whole bit to your tumbler or whatever you're using. If you are doing an offset using heat transfer vinyl, obviously you would press your offset first and then you would press the name over the offset. So if it's adhesive, you put the name over the offset and then onto the project. Heat transfer vinyl, you iron on or press the offset first and then you press the name. If anybody is not sure about layering vinyl, I can do a tutorial on that as well if anybody's interested. But I might skip trying to do it live and I'll do it as a pre-recorded one. So you would can you slice here? Deb, I don't know what you mean by slice. I don't use Cricut. Sorry, I've got no idea. Let's have a look around while I'm answering questions. Nope, that's not it. Oh, slice. Is that slicing here? I don't think you can because it's a flattened image already. Does that make sense to any Cricut users? All I know is from here, right? If you have it in 2 separate pieces here and you import it the way that we did as a cut only image and you erase all of the background, you will get to cut. Like if you can see the black outlines, that's ready to cut. Because I don't have a Cricut, I can't actually play around with how it works from here, but I do know that once it's in here, if you follow the steps that I showed you where you import it, you've got to import the image, just pick it as a simple, where it's where it gives you the options for the import. You have to go simple, and then the next screen you have to click the magic wand and click out all of your background, and then you import it in from there. Oh, do you want them as 2? Okay. Honestly, Deb, I think the easiest way around that, because like I said, I like to work smarter, not harder. I already have my snipping tool saved because I use it for everything. I would go your font and call it name. Whoop, nope. Here, name. Right, and then new, and then I'd go the offset and call it offset, and then have it as 2 separate files. Does that make sense? So we'll go upload, browse. That, just off the top of my head, if I think I'm answering your question correctly, you need them in 2 different parts so that you can move them around your cutting mat, correct? I'd just snip them differently. Right, so we'll go Julie, simple, little eraser tool here. Make sure you click out all the white and go continue. We want it as a cut image. All right, and then we'll go ahead and do the offset at the same time, which is here. Simple again. Oh, I like questions that make me think. Okay, I do. I like a challenge. We'll see if this works. Okay, so save as a cut image. Okay, so now let's insert this. And then insert this one. Ta-da! Is that what you mean? So that you have them in two separate parts? I just, yeah, I just snip them on the silhouette screen as two separate parts instead of doing the whole box. And then you've got the two parts. Is that what you were asking? Like how to get it? Amanda, we, because we've done it the way that we had, with the SVG file that we did in Inkscape, you can slice it. I don't know much about Cricut, like I don't know what slicing is, but I can see down here that it's grayed out. But I think Deb was trying to figure out if she could get it in two separate parts. So hopefully I've just answered her question. Let's have a look for it, Deb. Snipping tool on Mac. There you go. Command plus Shift plus 4 turns the cursor into a crosshair, allowing you to select which portion of your screen you would like to capture. Because you wouldn't want the whole screen. So it's Command plus Shift plus 4, Deb. And that should bring up a little crosshairs, and you should be able to drag that around the image. And then I'm not sure if it saves it automatically, or if you'd have to save it yourself. But if you snip the screen and nothing happens, go and look in your your images file or your pictures file where everything saves. Okay, I think we're going to say goodbye. If you are watching the replay and you have questions, please still leave them in the comments. I will get the notifications for them and I will come back and have a chat to you. As always, my inbox is also always open. A lot of the time they do go to the others folder. So if I don't get to you straight away, I will find you eventually, I promise. If it's been a couple of days and I haven't read your message, just tag me in a post and tell me to check my messages. I don't mind being yelled at. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I'm so sorry that we had a bit of a rocky start, but once we got started, we were good. All right. If you would like to see a tutorial on layering both adhesive and heat transfer vinyl, let me know in the comments, because I can do that for you probably in the next couple of weeks. Otherwise, it won't be next week. It will be, let's have a look, the 24th. The 24th of November, we have had a lot of requests for a fabric cup. So I am going to show you how to do a fabric cup. Somewhere in the archives, I actually have a template for cutting out the fabric so that it wraps around like the standard 20 ounces, so it doesn't have to be a skinny, like that little curve in towards the bottom. The template allows for that, and then it's just a simple wraparound job. So in the meantime, I will try very hard to try and find where I have put that. I think that's in my Google Drive. But I will find the template and we will do a fabric cup. We'll also do it as I can't promise you a skinny, because I don't have stock yet. I've just run out of skinnies. But I can show you how to do it on a 20 ounce with the template. So leave that with me and I will be back on the 24th. Otherwise, if you want the layering, I will get to that probably sometime next week, but it won't be a live. I'll pre-record that and then I'll upload it for you to watch as a pre-recorded video. Very technical terms. Have a great night, guys. And now I have to figure out how to end the video. This should be fun.